Alright guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Spencer Van. I kind of want this to be like an introductory video of kind of like who am I, talk about like my entrepreneur history, and then answer a lot of the common questions I get about real estate and how to get started and just anything like that. So that's pretty much the point of this video, and if you have any more questions regarding to anything I'm talking about here, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of people have the same question, and I'd love to answer it for you guys either in a future video if I think it's if it's video worthy, or just in the comment section below. But anyway guys, so my name is Spencer Van. Like I said, I grew up here in Southern California, and I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. And that's kind of half true. My first entrepreneur experience was when I was in first grade. And actually, now that I think about it, it might have been a little bit earlier than that. I can't quite remember. But it was like in kindergarten, first grade, like that kind of era of my life. And my neighborhood was doing a lemonade stand for charity. And I was on the cover of my city's newspaper for selling lemonade. And that was pretty much it. And then from that point on until like my sophomore year of high school, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. I was busy playing basketball, which was like my life. And then my sophomore year, I got hurt, couldn't play for like 8 months. And I'll put up a picture at the very end of this video with my ankle. I broke my ankle. That was my injury. And it was really, really bad. Broken in like 6 places. Like it was bad. Okay. But it gave me a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do. And so I started looking around, and I realized I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be my own boss. And when I recovered, I was like, you know what? I want to get better at basketball again because I've been hurt for 8 months. I haven't been able to play, so I want to play. And I would like to get paid for it. Let's train kids on how to play basketball. Boom, bright idea. And so I went out, spent a bunch of money on equipment and flyers, and then sold zero and lost all my money. Absolutely failed. It was a miserable failure. But that's okay. That's okay. Because from there, I realized that there was a lot to learn. And so I started researching and reading and just kind of learning about like what I could do to make money. And the first thing I stumbled upon, and this was about 6 to 7 months later, I started upon investing. I don't know how that kind of happened, but I guess money, investing, it kind of just tied together. And so stocks and bonds. I read this book by Benjamin Graham called The Intelligent Investor. I read it my junior year of high school, and that shit was ridiculous. If anyone, I wish I had it out. Maybe I'll show it to you guys in another video, but it's like 800 pages. It's like something stupid. Super like complicated. And I remember, because I even have it marked up, like the first page, it's like in a bear market. And I stopped and I highlighted bear, and I had to look up what a bear market was because I had no idea. So that was the level that I was on. Then when I got done with that, I realized that I don't like stocks. It's way too much for me. It's just it's not that I don't like it. You can make a lot of money doing it. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. So then I started reading about real estate, and later that year, about October of 2015-ish, I went to a real estate seminar where I met my first mentor. So this guy was speaking. His name was Jack Fullerton. And I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anyone in real estate. I didn't know anything. Okay. I walk in. I'm nervous. I'm 17. I'm with a bunch of like 50, 45-year-olds. So I do not fit in at all. Everyone's looking at me like, who is this kid? Okay. I'm not dressed for the part. I used to not gel. It was just not good. And so 10 minutes before the event, I walk over to the bathroom, use the restroom. I'm nervous, right? I'm just trying to kill time. And I'm in there. I'm washing my hands. I still cannot believe this happened. And this older gentleman walks up to me, and we start making small talk. And I'm thinking he's a guest of the hotel. I'm like, hey, so, did you hear about this real estate conference? Like, what do you think about this? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's great. Like, hey, have you heard this guy Jack speak before? And I said, no. I said, honestly, I'm brand new. I said, I'm in high school. I want to learn about this stuff. It seems interesting to me. This is what I really want to do. And so he turns around, sticks out his hand and says, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Jack Fullerton. And I said, what the hell? And that was how I met Jack, who was my first mentor for a few months. Unfortunately, he had some family issues with his wife. And so he became super preoccupied. But by that point, it was like I was already networking with everyone, so I was fine. But the one thing that Jack did for me that was huge was he taught me my first lesson in real estate and really in business, which was ask for what you want. Even if you don't think you can get it, ask for what you want. So that same day that I met him, the club that I was at, the little meetup or whatever, which was not little, there was like 200 people, that was ridiculous. But they announced that they were going to have a special class that Saturday. It was like $400, and it was 8 hours or like 12 hours long or something like that. And so I was like, dude, like, this is ridiculous. Like, I want to go, but I can't afford it. And I was talking to Jack. I was like, hey, you know, well, he asked me, he said, Spencer, you know, are you coming to class? I said, I can't go. I can't afford that. So he said, all right. He said, well, write an IOU to the guy that runs the club and he'll let you go. So I said, what? I said, are you crazy? He said, just take out a piece of notebook paper and write an IOU. So I did. Took out a piece of notebook paper, write IOU, you know, $400 or however much it was, and gave it to him. And he said, all right, I'll see you Saturday. So next thing I knew, Saturday I was there learning, and it really just took off from there. You know, started doing deals, or really, I shouldn't say started doing deals, but really actively taking it into my life, like the following year in like 2016. But 2015 was great. It was just those last 3 months of me learning about it and trying to get it started. And then I kind of expanded, went to a bunch of other meetups, met a lot of really cool people, and that's pretty much how I got started. A lot of people ask me how much money you need to get started, or like what else do you need? Do you need anything to get started? The answer, of course, is yes and no. In real estate, there's a million different real estate strategies, okay? There's wholesaling. There's finder's fees, which is almost the same thing, but they're slightly executed differently. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, those are how I got started, because that's with little money you can do this. Okay, there's flipping, which is like the next step up, which is when you have a lot of money to invest, or you can get a loan, or usually a hard money loan. Okay, then there's buy and hold stuff. There's purchase options. There's note invest, and there's a million things that you can do in real estate, and there's no way I could cover all of them in one video, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, but what you need to do when you get started is you need to look at yourself and say, I have a lot of money, I have no money. I have a lot of experience, I have no experience. And then you need to figure that out, because you might have no money and no experience. So what's the first thing you do? You go find somebody with experience to mentor you, okay? You go find somebody with money to partner with you, okay? Hopefully you do the experience first, because usually you're going to get screwed if you don't know anything and you try to partner with somebody. Not that they're going to screw you, but of course they're going to want more money for themselves, and if you don't know anything, then you can't bring them any value anyway, so you won't even work with them, okay? But that's my point, is you can do deals with real estate with very, very little money, but you need to have some mental capacity of real estate and how it works before you go do that. And I don't mean going getting your state test done, okay? I became a real estate licensee about 4 or 5 months ago now, which you do not need, by the way. You do not need to be an agent to be a real estate investor. It's a complete myth, okay? But you do need an understanding of real estate from an investing standpoint, okay? What else do you need? That's really it. You just need an understanding. The best way to go do that is to read about it, watch online videos, watch my future videos, biggerpockets.com if you want to join their website. You know, go to meetups, go to seminars, whatever, you know, meet with people. Some people think those are scams. I don't know. I don't think they are. I've only had good experiences. I've never had a bad experience at one, and I've been going to them for 2 years. And it's not like I'm trying to sell you on going to one. So just letting you know. What else? Who's fit for real estate? I honestly think anyone can do real estate. It is a people business, which means that you do have to be able to get out of your shell. Me, naturally, I'm kind of on the edge of extrovert and introvert, more towards extrovert. I love public speaking. But there are some social situations where like I kind of get a little anxiety. Used to, I shouldn't say, not really anymore, but used to. So in order to get over that, what do you have to do? You just have to do it. You just have to understand that it's only awkward if you make it. So if you go up and you're all nervous, then it's going to be an awkward conversation. If you go up and you say, hey, nice to meet you, my name is Spencer Van, you know, it's going to set the tone really quick, and you're going to be able to make new friends, new you know, potentially business partnerships, and just new people in your life. That's important in real estate, okay? But other than that, I mean, honestly, if you are persistent and you're able to put in hard work, not necessarily a lot of work, and I shouldn't even really say hard, because real estate's not hard. You're not building a house. You're not, you know, roofing a house. That's the hardest thing I've ever done, was roof a freaking house in the hot summer of August. Okay, that was not fun. But on the flip side of it, it is very tedious, and it's the same thing over and over and over again, meeting a ton of people, making a lot of phone calls, just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And if that's not for you, then real estate's not for you, okay? Or at least real estate investing is not for you. And really being a real estate agent is very similar, a little bit different, but very similar. So that's not for you either. What is real estate like for a 19-year-old? That's another question I get a lot, especially by kids my age or around my age. It's interesting. You know, I know a lot of people that own businesses that are like online businesses, and that are like those types of things that like a lot of millennial entrepreneurs are doing. And obviously real estate is one of those millennial entrepreneurs that are not, most millennials that are entrepreneurs are not doing that, which is fine. But at the same time, I notice that as those people that own those businesses, those online businesses, get older, they start to realize the value of real estate, and then they come to me and they call me and they say, "Spencer, I want some help." And I say, "How can I help you?" And that's what I've noticed. And obviously, when you tell a lot of people associate real estate with money. And so when you are in college and you're telling kids like, "Hey, yeah, I'm a real estate agent and investor," they just trip out because they're working at Ralph's and they're like, "What the hell? You must be a billionaire." And you're like, "I'm not a billionaire. I'm 19. I'm doing well, but I'm not a billionaire." Okay. But that's pretty much that. And it's funny now that I know a lot about real estate to where I've literally given tax, and obviously I'm not an attorney or tax accountant. So I told them that, and I said this would be my advice, but I also recommend you go talk with a certified professional for taxes. But I've given advice, about real estate taxes and about, buying and selling properties to janitors at my old high school and weird people like that you run into, and they're like, "Oh, I heard that you're in real estate," and they'll ask me a question about it. I'll be like, "Well, this is my advice, but I would recommend that you do yada yada and talk to this." So you get that a lot. And that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, it's just like any other industry, I'm sure. Thankfully, I've started a bunch of businesses in a bunch of different industries, so I kind of know, I have a good, well-rounded perspective of what different industries are like. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. It's fairly simple. And what are the biggest keys to being successful as a real estate agent or as a real estate investor? I would say there's 3 things. Number 1 is you got to understand the people business, which we talked about. If you're an introvert, that's okay. That's 100% okay. Does not mean that you can't do it. All it means is that you have to get out of your shell and you have to get over it. You have to just overcome that fear, and that's going to be your first step to success, okay? Number 2 is persistence. You're never going to make a sale on the first call. It's going to take 5 to 7 calls routinely to get a sale, okay? Keep that in mind. Persistence when you ask, to someone to be your mentor. Persistence when you ask for a sale. Persistence everywhere in real estate, okay? Knocking on doors. You can't do it once and expect to get a deal. You have to knock on doors every single day for like 6 months, okay? And really forever if you want to continue doing deals, right? And then finally, asking for help. So many people, try to do it all themselves. Excuse me. And you can't do that. You don't understand real estate enough, especially when you start to do it all yourself. You don't have the experience. And so you, as someone that's new at anything, really, you need to find someone that knows more, and you need to ask them. So that's where I'm going to say, if you guys have any questions about real estate, please put them down below. I will do my best to answer them, either in a future video if I think that it's worth a whole video, or in the comments, or both. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm putting together a course in the future to help people get started with wholesaling. And I'll have a bunch of informational videos on how you can get some money to get started and all that in the future, and I already have some up. So anyway, guys, check it out, and peace.